Hello everyone and welcome to Total War Through the Ages. In this episode, we'll be, covering quite a bit of stuff. Should be a pretty eventful episode. We do have a battle to fight. As you can actually probably tell from the title, it's going to be a siege. We have to defend Massilia once again. We are gonna have to, I guess it's the second defense of Massilia. Right. It's also the name of this episode, which of course you guys know because you already saw it. Anyway, moving on. Here we have our army that's going to be moving across this province of Africa. And hopefully we're going to rendezvous those armies up and finally capture that city, that Carthaginian city right there that has been taunting me all this time with my army camped out in the fort. I really should have taken that out a long time ago, but, plenty of mistakes have been made throughout this campaign, and, that's, hopefully we're learning from those mistakes. At least that's kind of the, I keep telling myself that I'm getting better, but I don't know if I am. Anyway, here we are going to start sending some troops to the north, because I am wanting to start sending that army to the north to start attacking the Britons on their home turf. I'm tired of being the one always getting beat up by them. I want to actually start handing out some beatings of my own and taking the fight to them. So, we will see if that actually is successful or not. And we have plague has spread to 2 of our cities now, which is not good. So we're going to be building a aqueduct there. I believe it was an aqueduct, but anyway, it increases the health of the the public health of the settlement. So that's really good. We're going to be sending additional reinforcements. These are 3 units of, I believe those are early legionaries, as well as a unit of Roman cavalry. We're going to be sending them on down to bolster the force even more. And I know there is a city somewhere to the south where I was just a moment ago, but we're not 100% sure. Actually, no, I think I actually end up sending more than just those units. Yeah, I send a unit of Hastati and a couple of Princeps as well. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, because I was checking what I already had to kind of balance out my thing. So I ended up just sending the entire rest of the entire bottom row there. And yeah, there's a decent sized army defending that city. Now I don't know how strong the units are going to be, but there is a decent sized army nonetheless. So we should actually be about to get the army out of that city. Okay, maybe it's next turn. We'll wait and see. But I do get that army on its way to the north this episode. That does happen. Okay, the Britons attack yet again. Not too worried about it. Spain is maybe going to be sending an army to come and help me. I mean, we are allies. I think I don't remember if they're at war with the Britons or not, but I'm pretty sure. And we also got a Senate mission to capture that settlement right there, which I was planning on doing at some point, but I will be, since I got the mission for, I'm going to try and kind of move when I start trying that forward a bit. I'm going to try and do it sooner than I would have otherwise. I was going to wait and conquer the rest of the Carthaginian provinces farther to the east in Africa, and then go for that one. But I'm going to go ahead and be like, you know what? Nope. The Senate wants us to do it now, so we're going to try and do it now. So we get a bunch of the units out of this settlement, and we're going to, like I've been saying quite a bit now, we're going to be sending them to the north because, yeah, I want to finally get a big offensive campaign started, because at this point we've basically just been playing defensively and not doing a whole lot to actually further the overall goal of this series, and also of course the campaign, i.e. winning the campaign. So that's the goal. And I don't recall if I ever mentioned this, but the whole Total War Through the Ages, the original idea for the series was to sort of be a speed run. That sounds weird because it's Total War and they're not exactly the fastest games to go through, especially when you're doing the main campaign. But it is, I am trying to complete each campaign as quickly as possible. Now, this campaign for Rome Total War is going to be way slower than some of the other ones, mainly just because I'm not very good at this game. I was not very experienced going in, and I'm still making a lot of, really noobish mistakes. But once we get to Medieval 2, things should pick up. The pace of the series should pick up, and we should be able to progress a lot faster. I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to beat Medieval 2 a lot faster than I've been able to beat Rome. Now, of course, part of that does come down to how much time I have had to play and stuff like that, and kind of how often I release videos for it. But at the end of the day, It is also that, like, I have hit a lot of roadblocks in Rome because of some inexperience. So as you saw there, I rallied an army up from those two North African settlements we have there, Carthage, and I don't know the name of the other one, and we put them on a fleet, and we're going to be shipping them off to the mainland of Europe because we need more units there to help fight the Britons. I mean, the Carthaginians aren't really a threat anymore. It's kind of just a mopping up action with them, and we do already have armies on their way to do that. So this is the Siege of Massilia, which of course is the title of the video and probably what you've all been waiting for. And yeah, here we go. I forgot to record the deployment setup. I forgot because I stopped the recording to break it up. That's just logistical things. It's a good call to do that. You don't want to have one super long video that tends to end badly. It's a lot easier for it to get corrupted, and more importantly, if it does get corrupted, then you lose everything, versus if they're in smaller segments, not as disastrous. So, but my basic setup was I put those archers there. I'm going to try and use fire arrows to destroy that one ram, and I'm banking on the fact that I'm going to be able to destroy that ram, and then all my other forces are deployed more or less around the gate and to the right to try and help defend against it, or basically focus on defending this place. Now, I think my deployment was actually pretty good. And as you can see, we did manage to catch that ram on fire. So we're gonna try and catch this one on fire as well, because again, if I can catch 2 rams on fire, that will make it really well, not easy, but it will give us a big advantage because it'll severely limit our enemy's options of where to enter into the city from. But I'm not holding out hopes. It was a combination of the tower and the archers is what lit the other battering ram on fire. So we'll see. Hopefully, we might get lucky, but. 1 ram is actually just a big help. You know, 1 ram on its own is pretty significant. So, as I said, we're going to try our best with those archers. Actually, this unit of Princeps actually was throwing their pilum over the walls. So I went ahead and, I noticed that, and so I turned, I started turning all my guys off of fire at will, because I want them to save their pilum until after the enemy units have entered into the wall, and then we can use that as kind of as soon as they're charging through, we throw pila, and then that, does a lot of damage and hopefully breaks some of their morale. Now, I was double checking to make sure that ram was dead because the unit hadn't left it, but I guess that's just the AI not really being that smart. Now, I skipped forward in the video because, of course, I'm just I do a little bit of shuffling around, but I more or less am just waiting for them to breach the gate and the walls. So the gate is breached, but of course they will be a little bit more before they actually come through it, because they are going to wait for the other breaches in the walls to complete before they charge through. Which is a good idea, which is something that it actually took me a siege or two to learn myself at the beginning of the series. Wow, that was a little bit on the loud side. So, okay. Now they are about to breach the walls, and we will actually get to the main meat of this battle. It seems weird calling it a battle because I want to call it a siege, but technically it is still a battle. But it is a siege. I don't know. Either way, we're almost there. Almost there. There we go. There's the second wall. And now I haven't edited that much of this part of the battle down, and that's actually because, again, kind of like I've said in the past, there's not a whole lot to edit out that I want to edit out. Most of it more or less kind of doesn't really, I guess it doesn't need to, but I think it flows a lot better if there's a bit more of it together than trying to edit it real heavily. Now, in some cases, editing it heavily can work, but so here, these are the chosen swordsmen. They charge through 3 volleys of pilum from 3 different units, and they pretty much just, they break instantly. And so we charge in our early legionary unit here. And we charge one of them in to support. I'm sorry, it was only from 2 units. It was just the 2 early legionaries. That third one unit there was a Triari. Yeah, so then we have our Princeps. I believe that's, our Princeps and our early legionary is going to be charging in here to support our Triari, defending the main gate. That's where the big group of their guys are right there in the main gate, but they also sent quite a few units over into this side thing. So we pull our general out of that charge there and charge him in here, and this was a big mistake I made. I have been getting advice via the comments in past videos telling me that I need to pull my generals out of combat and then just keep charging in again and again and again. And I am aware of that. Now, first of all, all of these episodes up until this point were recorded before I started taking that advice. So hopefully, at some point you'll start to see me do that more. But in this battle especially, it was a big thing because I left my general in there, and his unit just got torn to pieces in that melee, which so I definitely should have pulled him out before, because you're about to see what happens, which really sucks. Now my general doesn't die, but he does rout, and that's really, really annoying. It's actually, I try to pull him through my own unit and get him out, but then he routs. And yeah, that pretty much, I was like, ah, crap, that's not good. But I was thinking maybe I'll be able to hold on. You know, it's still not out. They don't outnumber me by a ton. So maybe if my general rallies, I might be able to do something. And I do have this archer unit that I'm going to be able to fire into the back of those chosen swordsmen there. But again, overall, I'm still just not. Yeah, at this point, I was kind of like, this battle's not going so great. I'm not feeling super confident about winning this, but I still definitely had a distinct possibility of being able to do so. So not giving up hope. And the other big mistake, I think, that I feel like I made the mistake of sending my one unit out of the wall, this unit of early legionaries, I sent them out to try and kind of flank behind the enemy, or to flank behind the enemy through the gate. And I don't know if this was a good call or not, so please, if you have an opinion, and well, not just an opinion, if you could kind of explain to me what your thoughts are on this, and if it was a good or bad idea. But it is what I did, and I'm jumping forward really far, so I didn't edit much of the main battle, but I did edit, because I lost the entire fight. All my units basically got cut to pieces, and one of them got away routing, the rest of them all died. But we still have this one unit of legionaries outside the gate, going strong, and our general unit finally rallied, so we're going to be trying to get him back into it. At this point, obviously, like, of course, I've obviously lost this battle. I didn't actually pay attention there. I thought the road was a little more direct, but I didn't pay attention, and you'll kind of see that in a minute. My general ended up having to go a lot longer way around than what I thought. But I have and we only have one guy left here. One guy in this unit. It's actually the standard bearer. And I thought he actually died there, but he actually gets back up. Because he stays alive for a little bit longer. Which again, like, it's just like, man, good on you, dude. Even though it's, not very likely that would actually ever happen. And then here we go. We have guys who are immune to fire arrows, and of course, that's just mechanically, that's how it has to be. Like, obviously, it's balance-wise, game mechanics, that's how it works. But it does look, visually, it looks funny when the arrows just kind of, like, sparked off the guy. Like, more or less kind of bounced off and sparked off of the guys. I just thought that looked kind of funny. But here we go, again, right here at the end. We're going to do one final charge. Our general is going to try and reclaim honor. My goal here was to have my general die before routing again, because if he routed a second time in a battle, like, yeah, he all honor would be lost. But hopefully he needed to die. He needed to die here in order to regain a little bit of his honor for Rome, and he does. So he does a good job. He dies for Rome. His bodyguard dies with him as well. So that's very noble. Gotta defend the glory and honor of Rome. But there's our casualties. Yeah, we weren't really outnumbered that much, but again, it is what it is. Now, this one I did. So the Germania actually controls this region, and we are allied. And I don't know if I am, but the Roman Senate, the Senate is or are allied with them. And I was like, okay, no biggie. I have 2 turns to get out of the region, so I'm going to just march up there, and then I'm going to march past the settlement into the Britain region and start attacking it. Doesn't quite work out that way. Heroic death. Was it heroic? He did run away at the early part of the battle. I don't know if it's heroic. His men were more heroic than he was. But here back, meanwhile, in North Africa, though, we do have a few minutes left in the episode, because I didn't want to just end it on the battle. There's a lot of stuff that I kind of wanted to wrap up here. So I sent the cavalry unit down to do the scouting, to kind of find that other place, and then I'm going to just move the rest of the army on. So, because I want to know where exactly the settlement is, so once we finish conquering the one that we're about to attack, we will then be able to immediately send some troops to go and conquer the other one. But here we go, and we're sending up more units to the north to reinforce, because again, I'm thinking I'm going to be able to just use that route to get to the Britons. It doesn't work. Yeah, so here we have the Spanish kind of shuffling around, and I was really hoping they'd send their army up to help me, but they didn't. They send it back somewhere else, so, oh well, I'm not too upset about that. At least they're not attacking me. That there's a plus there. I mean, Spain and I are allies right now, so it's not like I'm worried about them attacking me, but technically the Britons and I were also allies before they betrayed me and stabbed me in the back, and, yeah, now they're going to pay the consequences. At some point, if I can ever eventually retake Massilia, hold it, and you know, get them back. But really good news, we have a coming of age. So we have a new general here, which is perfect because he can lead the army that's going to be sent across the Straits of Gibraltar there to capture the Carthaginian settlement there. So that's actually really great, and I'm going to be compiling some units for that army, though of course keeping in mind I don't want to take too many units away because that will have a very negative effect on the happiness of the population. As you can see there, they're not too happy about that. Well, it's more of that the garrison basically forces the people to be happy, but we just send a couple of the Hastati back in, and that kind of keeps the population happy enough. We have a couple of units of hoplites that I'm planning on on recruiting right before we sent the army over, because I don't want to have them up because the mercenaries usually have higher upkeep costs than normal units, but I did want to have a couple of hoplite units because they're actually pretty decent. So like I said, we're gonna try and recruit them right there at the end. But besides that, as you can see, yes, there we cannot walk past the settlement because, yeah, we can't. So that was just kind of a oopsie on my part, and yeah, that kind of sucks because now we're gonna have to try and pull that army all the way back down and find a different route to go. We find the Carthaginian settlement has a decent sized army in it. I'm kind of surprised by how big of an army the Carthaginians are still able to maintain, though a bunch of them are mercenaries, at least in this one. So we attack there, and then we're gonna besiege this settlement, and we're gonna gather a bunch of siege equipment, but we're not gonna be attacking it this turn, obviously, because we gotta wait for the siege equipment to be constructed, as well as I'd like to get the other army actually in there besieging as well, so they can have their own siege equipment, and they don't quite have enough movement to do that. So, without further ado, this will be the end of the episode. So, thank you all for watching. Be sure to check back soon for more Total War Through the Ages.